Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So this video is going to be hopefully a short one where I want to explain my mentality and how do I actually do fusions in general. And for example, this one for Mighty Ukko is another one of those examples where I can apply the same principle that I usually apply when I do my fusions to try and save as many resources as I possibly can. So let me just straight up show you the fusion calendar so I can explain what do I mean by that. So let me move myself, let me see, I think I'm just gonna hide myself for a second so we can see everything properly, or move myself to the right. Yeah, let me move myself here. So the way that this fusion works is you can get a total of 155 fragments. Okay, from those ones you can get 40 extra by placing first or second in most of these groups. Normally there's always two spots. I think when there's like lower, if you're like lower level, you can only get the extra fragments if you place first place. So let's say we'll eliminate all of these. Let's say you don't place on any of them on first or second place to get the extra ones. That leaves you with 115 fragments, which are the ones here in yellow. 60 plus 55, 115. That's the total you can get by hitting every single milestone in the events and the tournaments, which usually they're pretty easily hit sometimes, or sometimes they can be really tricky. Like the dungeon diver one can be tricky, they can be really high, or like the artifact enhancement ones. But the trickiest one here and the most annoying ones that people waste resources still, because I've seen people still wasting resources and they're still thinking like, oh, I don't know how to save it, is the summoning ones. So let's strictly split the summoning one out. Let's go and have a look. Luckily this one happens now, and that's the summon rush, and let's see how many we can get and at what point. So even though it doesn't show here, you can get 5 if you hit 2150 points, and then you can get an extra 15 if you hit 3500 points. In order to hit this 3500 one, you would need to pull 7 sacreds. Summon rushes always are during a 10x, and 99.99% time, unless you're endgame, you should not pull during 10x's. The traps, they're not really worth it. The only one that's maybe worth it is if it's a void legendary, that's good, and you know you're close to mercy, or if you're still so early that all of the epics that are on the 10x are good, and you're like, okay, maybe I get one of the epics and it helps me out. Otherwise, I definitely do not recommend. So there's very few niche uses for those ones to pull. So like if you're endgame, yeah, you want specific champions, like for example, we have the 10x Duchess going on. Yes, you want Duchess, you go for it. Otherwise, just do not do it. So the way that I looked at it is like, okay, you either skip the summon rush entirely, which is what I always do, or you pull and get just the 5 that will cost you 4 sacreds, 1 void, 1 ancient, and 10 mystery shards, or 18 voids, or 17 voids and 10 mystery shards, or 108 ancient shards. So if you look at the points that you get from here, that's like what I just told you, is that's how much you have to pull in order to hit here. So I'm not sure, for example, for me, I never want to pull sacreds for this event unless I'm actually caring about definitely going for the champion that's in the 10x, which I don't really care, because you have a 10x Duchess, but you also have True Earth, so there's a high chance you get the other one or don't get any of them. So do not do this. The way that I'm doing it is, let me show you here. I'm skipping the summon rush entirely. That leaves me, from the 115 ones, that leaves me with 95 fragments if I hit every single other milestone. From that, then, I need to get an extra 5 by winning or placing second in any of these 2, 4, 6, 8 tournaments. So let's say we eliminate from that one, let's say we eliminate the champion chase one, okay? Because again, that one's still gonna be whale war, it might be hard. Let's eliminate that one, that leaves you with 7. Okay, let's eliminate champion training then as well, maybe, because that one's complicated, maybe you don't want to grind. You're still left with 6 tournaments where you have a chance of trying to place first or second to get that extra 5 fragments to get to 100, and straight up you have your champion. Like you have the 5 dungeons, Ice Golem, Fire Knight, Spider, and Dragon, or you have a shot at 2 of the arena ones, one of which falls during the you know, the arena reset, where like I wouldn't try to win if you're going for arena. I wouldn't try to win this one. Try to win the earlier one. Like maybe this one starts on Sunday. It might be better if you see how it looks on Tuesday, Wednesday. If not, this one's you have to be on deck and see how it goes. But I feel like that's the easiest way and the best way to actually save resources for yourself, especially shards, because we know if you're not a spender, it's not that easy to get shards. Yes, we do get more from, you know, clan boss, from Dune Tower, from our daily, weekly and monthly quests, but it's still not easy. So if you want to save resources, the easiest way to do it is like I mentioned when it comes to shards. When it comes to everything else, the way to do it is always try to double dip or triple dip your resources. For example, when it comes to the Ice Golem one, you definitely want to do your Ice Golem and Dungeon Divers at the same time. So by the time you get to the Monday when it resets, you want to make sure you finished all of your Ice Golem milestones. Get that milestone at the same time, see how high you can get into the Dungeon Divers. Unless you're trying to get first or second place in the Ice Golem, as soon as you hit your milestone, just straight up stop. Unless it's like a better milestone after the fragments, just stop and save your resources and then go to the next one. And on Monday, you can combine the champion training event that starts, which is usually, it's a lot of points. You need to like farm a lot. But guess what? That's gonna help you with getting more points for Dungeon Divers, because from the statistics that I've seen, champion training and dungeons roughly give you the same kind of the same amount of points. So it's still good to finish up the Dungeon Divers with the champion training over here. So on Monday, if you haven't finished the Dungeon Divers yet, do as much champion training as possible so that you get your last milestone from the Dungeon Divers if you didn't have it yet, which I'm quite sure you're not gonna have it because it's usually kind of high. So let's have a look how high it is at this time around. So it's at 3,750 points. That's definitely higher than the milestone is going to be for Ice Golem, which normally it's like 2,250. So the rest of this one, you're going to have to finish with the champion training, as I mentioned. Then at the same time, the good thing is by doing champion training, if you do 12-3 brutal, or even if you do 12-6 nightmare, which is like better when it comes to XP, but is not as reliable and maybe not as fast, is you also get the silver by strictly farming and selling those pieces, and that's the way you're gonna do the artifact enhancement. Then when we come to the Fire Night, for example, this Fire Night, you can try and focus on Thursday. So don't do Tuesday and Wednesday Fire Night. Just do champion training and just focus it on Thursday to combine with the Dungeon Divers. However, if you know that you want to farm that and make points for CVC, because this is gonna be the clan versus clan week, you can obviously farm this one faster and just finish the champion training on Thursday. So do a little bit champion training to finish the first Dungeon Divers, then the other one on Thursday or Friday. You know, there's key moments when you want to focus your things. One of the ones that's a little bit different, for example, so we have, for example, here we have the Spider one, starts on Saturday, that you can combine again with the Dungeon Divers, so you know, double dip it. But the best one that I see here that you can triple dip is the last one. So on champion training with Dragon and with Dungeon Divers. So the best way to do this one is if you have somebody that can do solo Dragon with 4 full champions such as Tomb Lord, Bad Alcazar, Eurogrim, Rich Stuff the Bold, who else? Even Ultimate Death Knight if you put him in Toxic Set. Just straight up try to double triple dip here and start on Wednesday when the Dragon starts, champion training will still be on and Dungeon Divers will still be on. So start on Dragon and start farming with that single champion and food, and basically you save a lot of resources because you do everything at the same time. You level up champions for champion training, you do Dragon tournament, and then you do Dungeon Divers. Normally the way this one's gonna happen is you're gonna hit the milestone for your Dragon tournament and then stop there and then go back to campaign and finish off your champion training and Dungeon Divers, and you know, do the rest what you have to finish off the Dungeon Divers. But this is the best advice that I can give you overall when it comes to a fusion. I think I'm just gonna do the same thing every time there's gonna be a fusion. I'm gonna have the look at the calendar. I'm gonna tell you how I will be doing it myself, and I'm gonna try and give you guys advice of what to focus on, how to best manage your resources, because you know, there's plenty of good ways to do it and maybe not everybody knows how to do it. So you know, as always on my channel, I'm trying to help out people as much as I can with advice, with guides, with whatever I post. So if you enjoy my content, guys, don't forget to subscribe and drop a like on this video, and you know, hopefully you'll come back to enjoy the hopefully quality content that I put out. But thank you all for watching, good luck for the fusion, and I guess have a nice weekend as well, and I will see you in the next one. Peace, love, take care everyone. Bye guys.